All right, let's move on to the Patriots. 2021, the win expectations was 9. They went over, went 10-7. 10-7 also ATS. And we see just that dramatic kind of mid-season surge from the Patriots where they were upgraded by pretty much every media outlet. They couldn't keep up with the Patriots fast enough. Started out a little bit sluggish, but had, even though they lost and didn't cover versus the Cowboys in week 6, that was another good game that the Patriots really performed well in. I think if we probably look, I would say they were probably won most of that game. The win probability was 64%. Came back, crushed the Jets, beat the Chargers, and that was kind of that baseline where then they surged over the next couple weeks. Which, when I'm looking at this too, the teams that they beat, I mean, it's great that you're winning, it's great that you're covering, but I mean, beating the Panthers, beating the Browns, beating the Falcons, like, I don't know if that's like necessary, like justification to like get so excited.
Putting myself back in the shoes there, I think there's still a little bit of optimism on Carolina then, right? The wheels hadn't totally fallen off. And the Browns certainly were good, and I think the power ranking, even indicates that as the 10th best team. And certainly the Chargers people were bullish on. And that, in some sense, it was like 2 pretty impressive wins, and a 45-7 win over the Browns was certainly a big one there. So I don't think it was kind of the Broncos, if we remember early last year, beating the Jaguars and Giants and Jets in the first 3 weeks. And everyone was like, oh, what can we really make of this? They played some terrible teams. But I think the Patriots did have some quality wins.
Also playing competitive versus the Bucs.
Yeah, I think if we look at the mean win probability, I think they were actually positive in that game.
Yeah, 50%. So
50%. And looking back, that game looked a little more impressive. Kind of, you can create the cases retrospectively and saying, oh, okay, maybe there was something there that wasn't just a total fluke.
It was really the Chargers game that really ignited that surge kind of mid-season. I mean, it went from, in week 4, the 20th ranked team to, in 10 weeks, the 4th ranked team. You do not see that every season. What are your kind of views on Mac Jones from last year?
I mean, I guess this is kind of a question about the McDaniels departure, because if Jones is really a product of McDaniels' system, then we can see him taking a step back. But I think that's almost has to be the conclusion, considering how coddled he was as a quarterback, especially early on.
A lot of teams got better, but the Patriots were certainly not one of them. So I'd say, again, even from some of Ron's feedback around the draft, wasn't necessarily super positive. Didn't love the first round pick, thought they took him too early. Didn't have anything like super meaningfully positive to talk about Tyquan Thornton. I've read other things about him as well that suggest that he's not really a NFL caliber kind of wide receiver. He's lightning fast, and that kind of seduced a lot of kind of evaluators. But maybe he's going to be more of like a punt returner, kick returner, and that's certainly not worth a second round pick. Maybe see even PFF ranked them 192, and for a second round pick, I mean that is a huge
reaches. Both picks, 86 to 29, and massive reaches. I don't think. We can give Bill Belichick the benefit of the doubt on the coaching side. His drafting profile hasn't exactly been too strong in recent.
Pierre Strong, I've heard a little bit of kind of positive things around him. Ron also highlighted that as the best pick in their draft, which again says something. So that's your 4th round pick.
For sure, but also how much is he contributing this year? Probably not. They've got a backfield of Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris. And
the thing is they did, as we kind of go into the offseason, they lost Brandon Bolden, who was certainly their most used kind of 3rd down back. Yeah. So who's going to really provide the option?
And James White is hurt. I think they gave that role like J.J. Nelson. But it seems the Patriots have had so many of these guys, from Danny Woodhead to and Brandon Bolden was a practice squad player. Yeah, I think these guys are they're growing trees for the Patriots.
This is the thing so that's where I feel like Bill Belichick is again getting a little bit complacent in the fact that this is how past performance. This is what we've been able to do. We've been able to like take guys off the street and turn them into an NFL starter in 2 seasons and then ditch them and kind of move on to the next kind of guy off the streets. How long is that? Like now, because you're really starting to lose some of the foundational guys that have really supported this franchise for the last decade or so. Not only did they lose McDaniels, they also lost their running back coach, their offensive line coach, and their wide receivers coach. They lost kind of two studs on the offensive line, Shaq Mason and Karras. And again, a lot of that has been because of cap casualty type losses. Same thing around J.C. Jackson as well, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, because they've spent so much money on guys like Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar. I mean, these are bad decisions.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like there's this hubris from Bill Belichick that, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll make it work.
But I think to your point about kind of the potential Belichick hubris is that at some point the cornerback talent's going to matter, right? Like you lose Stephon Gilmore, you lose J.C. Jackson, and they're started to slate Terrence Mitchell, Jalen Mills, and Jonathan Jones. I mean, these guys have not been good NFL cornerbacks. At some point, the talent's got to catch up.
That's why 8.5, I feel like, is super aggressive. One of the reasons why I like the under. It's a tough schedule, too. 7th hardest schedule. Net rest, minus 10 days.
It seems the only case for the Patriots is that they were good last year, and therefore they'll be good next year.
I feel like this is more like the Patriots have been good for the last decade. So
for sure. But I think even after Brady left, there was kind of a little bit of, okay, there's some pessimism here. Maybe this Patriots team is, they're done. The dynasty's over. Like they were good. There's no way around it. They were a top 5 team. But if you just project forward, at some point, the cliff's gonna fall.
And again, this is a tough schedule. I mean, and also in the back half of the season, kind of looks like especially tough. Especially after you kind of get the Jets, Colts, Jets. They have like a kind of 5-game span there in the middle of the season where they get a little bit of a respite. And then they're on prime time 5 games in a row.
I
was actually very surprised. I had to like double check this to make sure that this like graph wasn't like pulling in some error. They're going Thanksgiving, Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, then Christmas. So going to be a big stage, going to be shifting sentiment across kind of the Patriots, kind of no matter what. But at 8.5, yeah, it's hard to find 9 wins here.